turned to Don Rumsfeld. Mr. Secretary, I said, for the peace of the world and the benefit and freedom of the Iraqi people, I hereby give the order to execute Operation Iraqi Freedom. I knew the consequences my order would bring. I had wept with the widows of troops lost in Afghanistan. I had hugged children who no longer had a mom or dad. I did not want to send Americans into combat again, but I had vowed to do what was necessary to protect the country.
When no weapons of mass destruction were found, you write in Decision Points that it gave you a sickening feeling, and still does.
True. Well, let me walk you back a little bit. One, everybody thought Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. The intelligence service, many people who became critics of the war later on felt he had weapons of mass destruction, and that we had to view Saddam Hussein differently after 9/11. That when you saw a threat, you could not let it fully materialize. And the threat that he represented as a sworn enemy of the United States was to give weapons of mass destruction to an enemy that had just attacked us. And so a lot of people were concerned about it. And when we didn't find weapons, I felt terrible about it and sick about it, and still do, because a lot of the case in removing Saddam Hussein was based upon weapons of mass destruction.
We wouldn't have gone to war had there not been a case for weapons of mass destruction.
Well, he was a threat. The interesting thing that happened after he was removed is they sent, we had a team of inspectors go in who reported that he was equally dangerous. We may not have found the vials, but he had the capacity to make weapons. Here's the point I make in this book. Oftentimes history judges you on the decisions you make, but a lot of times they don't judge you on the decision you don't make. And the point I make is that Saddam Hussein in power today would mean the world would be less stable and more dangerous. And 25 million Iraqis would be living under the thumb of a brutal, ruthless dictator. My point is the world's better with him gone.
But yet you would not have made the decision. But yet you would not have made the decision.
Well, I don't think that's a question I cannot answer, because I didn't have that luxury. In other words, the decision I made was based upon what everybody thought was solid intelligence.
Do you now feel or believe that you were misled?
No, I don't think so.
By your intelligence?
Not at all.
You do not?
No, not at all. I think our intelligence
happened.
Just were wrong. I don't think anybody intentionally. Misled is a wrong word. Do I think that we made a mistake? Do I think we were wrong in our assessment? Yeah, I tell you what was wrong is Saddam Hussein deceived everybody. Saddam Hussein, it turns out, did not want people to know that he didn't have weapons of mass destruction, including many people in his own administration, which was strange, because I made it clear that let the inspectors in or else we'll remove you from power. And he didn't believe me, sadly.
4,421 of our troops now gone.
Yeah.
How heavily does that weigh on you?
Well, it weighs heavily, because I know that the decision I made disrupted somebody's life in a big way. And it would weigh more heavily on me, however, if I had have cared more about my political standing and less about completing the mission.
You talk about the woman Val, where you met with her. Yes.
She wrote me a note. I met her kids, and I'm kind of a weeper, as you may be able to tell. And I did everything I could not to weep in front of her children, because I wanted their children to have the memory of the commander-in-chief saying, your father's a hero, not a weepy commander-in-chief. So I fought back the tears, and she handed me a note that said, John did his job, now you do yours.
We'll be right back.